I told you not to do no sin no more. I guess they acting like they hear me. 90 days I let a fiend for. If this what you want, you best go beast mode. And she said, baby, I know you legit. Baby, I know you legit. She said, man, like you don't even exist. And I said, U.P.K made me like this. Bada bing, I popped the least suspect. I start all my crowns, ring and necklace. Do what the men above had taught me. Hey, you say I play too hot, no coffee. I had to change my life like this, yeah. I'm taking life for what it is, yeah. Quit acting blind, you need some lenses. Abiding by the damn scriptures, hey. I told you not to do no sin no more. I guess they acting like they hear me. 90 days I let a fiend for. If this what you want, you best go beast mode. And she said, baby, I know you legit. Baby, I know you legit. She said, man, like you don't even exist. And I said, U.P.K made me like this. I've been up, 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 I've been up. Quit the fuss, show me love, I need love. Don't wanna leave me, yeah. I'm mixing up my damn problems. I'm mixing out all of that violence. If you with me, we on that fly shit. To all these worldly bastards round us, I say, I told you not to do no sin no more. I guess they acting like they hear me. 90 days I let a fiend for. If this what you want, you best go beast mode. And she said, baby, I know you legit. Baby, I know you legit. She said, man, like you don't even exist. And I said, U.P.K made me like this.
One Westworld.
Right. Everything is lawful. Westworld. The pressure on. I remember bringing nothing home. Make it little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking bone. I had 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9/11, I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. How damn, now I'm coming up. They coming against me, you dumb or what? You drawn, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty, your ticket, she knows she fine. Got a couple of so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One Westworld, no way around it. Heavy, so you know I'm grounded. Too sturdy, I'm well rounded. Tunnel vision, I don't see a challenge. Get a minute, I'm killing it. Case closed, I don't need a gavel. Know you hate it, don't even matter. New page, still the same channel.
People might, but just never forget that I do not. Always have that fresh in your mind. That I feel absolutely nothing for your pain and your problem. Because I know that all of your pain and problems are a test to make you stronger.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready, then stay inside. You drowning away, or you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
Seeing if you're gonna step up in Westworld, you're gonna run.
You stick to the end, you get glorified. Let's make it official, I'm one of them. One of the greatest, is no exempt. It took me a minute to figure it out. I was struggling, get it made a man. I shuffled the deck and I played my hand. Just give me a reason to put them on you. Didn't believe that I had me a vision. Should I believe that you niggas loyal? We giving up game, they fumbling plays. I'm tired of talking, I'm racked out. Before that we started, they tapped out. I jumped in my duffel and blacked out. What you witnessing is elevation. Glory road to my destination. The haters, it's a celebration. And I put that on my reputation. When the fall, this a demonstration. Get sick and I know they hate it. One Westworld every season. Hot boy, this dedication. I'm giving game, I don't need favors. Go against us, you gon' see the danger. You ain't family, you a damn stranger. I'll beat your ass, I don't need a baby. I don't got time for excuses. I'm plotting on making the killer. I'm getting the feeling, they know that I'm coming, I'm running. Let's get to the business. I was still playing my post. Taking the rim like diesel. Don't run with too many people. I don't feel none of us equal. None of us equal.
And there are some brothers and sisters that know that so much have to stay alive here. They'll stay alive with you.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you drown in a wave, you gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
They're one West. 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 They're one West.
West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, it get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one West rising to prominent. Cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupon for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been as proper since a teeny bopper. But now I'm doing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the deep, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P.K. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're
You boy, you know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in, yeah. But that was my nigga, yeah. I'm in you. Got my nigga Ramon with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding General Yahanna. niggas be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change, and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home. That's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown. I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, think you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it. Ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talk the shit. Yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we U.P.K, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm rippin'. And my niggas solid, number real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapping together. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, and shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man, shit, nigga. They take their head over, nigga.
I pray where Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing that iron like Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert, another cop can stretch the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit, I ain't listening, is in fact the fear. If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jacob. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on his Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him, this shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain frame. Shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow sign. Yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.
You're on, sir. All right, let's start it up. Y'all Shabbat to come. Y'all some y'all shy. Captain Chaka, the I.S.U.P.K. DC. Y'all Chapter. Who's that? Trinidad. Musa Y'all Chapter. Anybody else on? Right now, that's it. No sweat. Scripture breakdown live from DC. We're gonna rock it out tonight. If anybody have any questions, you'll make sure type them in. Let us know if the audio is Tawab. If the audio is not Tawab, please say something. But any questions you have, just type them in. Tonight we're going to be exploring really kind of somewhat in a some figure history repeating itself. All right, in some figure history repeating itself, and what is to come for the future. We live in a real. I mean, it sounds cliche. It sounds real out of place to say it, but we are living in an extremely serious time. You understand? And we living in a time where one group lose an election and they storm the Capitol and people die, right? Okay. 4 years later, another group lose an election, and the week after, is it a week? How long has it been? 2 weeks. 2 weeks today, right? 2 weeks, 2 or 3. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from losing the election, the other group gives the okay for Ukraine to launch missiles into the interior of Russia, really egging them on to start a war. When for the whole goddamn 4 years, they've been not 4 years. How long have we been in Russia? About 2 years, 2 to 3 years down there, almost the whole term. They've been trying to appease, trying to, not escalate the situation. That's what that Biden and them been trying to do. They lose the election now. Now they tell Zelensky, man, we getting you rockets, man. This is US weapons. Send lead over into Ukraine, into Russia, into the interior. Don't just bomb the outside, bomb the inside, which is going to do what now? Provoke who? Provoke Russia into a full-out war. You get the point? Really, what they want is they want Trump, and this is not again campaigning for Trump. I'm just laying it flat out for everybody. They want when Trump come in, he has a full-scale foreign war that he would have to deal with. You get the point? Don't be surprised too if in the next few days something can happen between Gaza and the state of Israel. You know what I mean? I think they came out today or yesterday. Netanyahu said he given $5 million per hostage. You know what I mean? Trying to bribe these Arabs out of the trying to bribe these Arabs out of the out of their mind, out of their jihad.
Slack, so no audio coming through on this end. No audio coming through on this end.
Is it low?
You know come through. Song into what?
Bakwash, come on, man. My song didn't he trying to jump ship out. He trying to jump ship. Don't worry about it. We're gonna work out the stuff back after class. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I mean, he tell me he ain't getting to drain money. To drain money. When we talk right, we go outside on Saturday fire, we have a conversation. It ain't gonna be big for them tights now. No, I'm just joking. That's small. That's a small issue. So these are the type of people we under, right? We under a type of nation that doesn't see anything wrong with, just starting a war just because. Yeah, I would never have seen that coming. I don't know if you're paying attention to like that. Does that seem like something that was inevitable to you? Like they lose, and then you tell the losing, the weaker company, go ahead, start sending rockets deep into there, so you could get bombed more. So now it's going to be a war. NATO going to back you up. We going to back you up. But in 2 months, that old nigga going to be out. He turned 82 today, right? On his birthday, he started the armed war. Go ahead.
It's like, if I could, not only did they do that, but Trump allowed, when he was in office, he allowed, I don't know how this, but he allowed Ukraine to use mines. Mm-hmm. And then when Biden came in, they restricted it. But just like they allowed them to or gave them some missiles to shoot into Russia, they also loosened up the restrictions and allowed them to use landmines as well.
Now, the mines were supposed to do what? It's supposed to stop the invasion. Because if you're flying and shooting rockets, then the mines ain't doing shit. Mm-hmm. The mines was, and again, this is not campaigning. This is just laying it flat out so you understand the type of people we under. The mines were supposed to stop Russian ground troops from invading. Because all the talk about the rapings and all this type of thing, the mines were supposed to, is a deterrent to stop the invasion, to stop the, unlawful occupation or whatever. And, for 4 years, they try and peace, they give in war. They said the morning after the election, Trump met with Zelensky. The morning after, I have no doubt, is to tell him, nigga, you ain't getting another penny. I guarantee it was to tell him that, because I ain't hearing nothing about Zelensky, getting money after that. And now Biden is saying, yeah, go ahead, take these missiles, go ahead and start a war. So that's really the type of people who we are under. Like all before election, they was talking about peace. We want peace. We want to end these wars, You lose the election by a landslide, you get your ass whooped. And then 2 weeks later, you are starting a war from the weaker side with American weapons so that the one who comes in, he now has a mess to clean up. This is the type of games politicians play, which is why you can't vote. You can't even buy into this place. You can't do it because you don't understand what's at stake. You don't understand. Imagine like you lose your slavery and you just wreck the whole office because you lose your slavery. Go find another slavery, nigga. What the hell is the problem? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sir, right after, it's pretty much right after Trump said he's going to prevent World War III.
Say that again?
Trump said he was going to prevent World War III.
Well, of course, that's campaign talk. He can't prevent it. Either one is going, the Lord is going to draw them all the way in.
So I made this after he won.
Yeah, he can't prevent it. He can. That's campaign talk. Of course, his thing was that he was not going to have unnecessary wars. His thing was that he was going to strong arm, the foreign territories, tighten up on their foreign policies so that the world would begin to fear America again. And it would create an environment where America doesn't have to occupy so much foreign entities, doesn't have to, be there. You can bring soldiers home. You get the point? If you remember the whole thing with Afghanistan, Trump had a timeline to exit. Biden came in and just took everybody out. Remember them Arabs was jumping on the plane as it was leaving. Right. Because Trump had a timeline to do it and had made deals. Biden just come and pull the forces out, which who's down there, the Taliban or
Taliban?
And the Taliban came out the mountainside and was executing everybody who cooperated with America. That's why they was running for the planes like that, because they was like, we had to go. And if we don't go, we're going to be food for these damn terrorists over here. You get the point? So this is the type of people that we unfortunately have to yield to. You understand? So it's good to recognize it and observe what's going on, because brother, these next 4 years is going to be an absolute circus in America. I'm telling you straight up. Come on.
So, sir, there's a question online.
I'll take it.
Sir, it's from a person named Richard. He says, "How can I come off of weed and alcohol? Weed turns me scared and less of a man. I'm addicted to both." He went on to say, "I suffer from serious depression and mental health."
And this is a good class for you, Richard. It's an excellent class for you. All right. The UPK has a alcohol and drug abuse program. It's absolutely voluntary. Ain't nobody gonna force you into it. And you can just contact the school. All right, the brother who called Richard. Just tell me what city and state you're in, and we could get you, in contact with the school there, and you could begin the fight of becoming less weak and less scared and less, rattled and less anxious, and you could start now becoming courageous and becoming strong and more focused, because you're going to need that to survive these next 4 years. I don't know how you're going to survive until the inauguration, looking at the damn TV with this weed in your system, man. You're about to commit suicide. I'm trying to tell you. You're about to commit suicide. The fear mongering that's going on is going to drive you insane. You're going to dive out the window. You get the point? Even in this area here, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, I don't know if you'll notice in the last 2 weeks, it's just ridiculous nonsense going on. Just, to me, I don't know about y'all. Is it normal to have shootouts on I-95? That's normal. When was the last shootouts on 95? Tell me what's the last one.
I'm used to it.
When was the last one before this one?
Some years ago.
Some years ago, but that's normal? Normal is not years apart. Normal is a regular occurrence that happens. That's not a regular normal occurrence. You don't have shootouts on the damn highway.
Down my way, it's normal. It's damn really just about every other day.
In your area,
kind of
on 95, is there shootouts?
A lot, not that I know.
Not that exactly, because 95 is a whole different. What's the word I want? Jurisdiction. That's the word, Bakwash. It's a whole different jurisdiction. I believe 95 is way more is immediate federal laws, right? In your state, you might be subject to your state. You get on that highway, that's a whole different. You're not dealing with your local state at that point. Go ahead.
I know state police definitely got the highway locked.
Not state police, park police.
That's like if I could BWI Parkway or Super Park.
Yeah, they consider your national parks, I believe. And your park police have jurisdiction anywhere there's a national park. So they could follow you all the way to New York and arrest you. And I think on that highway, it's not the same as in the state. You get the point? You having a ton of, a ton of weird nonsense going on right now. And people are going to get more and more anxious, more and more afraid, more and more irrational in how they're moving. You get the point? You're going to have your regular crime. You're going to have that thing going on. But then you're going to have something else that's, what the hell are we even talking about? You get the point? And that's not specifically because of the election, but the time we're in. This is one of the horsemen being released, right? We're in the time of them horsemen. Which horseman is released now? You can't tell me you're used to the 2095 and then tell me the horseman released. Because goddamn, which one is it? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You say anything about shootouts and stuff in DC, so brother's like, yeah, that's normal. Nigga, that ain't normal. Trump get on the TV and said, we are taking back home rule from DC to stop the crime in DC and get the streets back in order. Why is he saying that if it's normal? That's not normal for DC. You talking about an era with what's he doing? Who everybody talk about?
Ray Perry.
Not Perry. Ray Forever. How long ago was that?
Yeah, man.
How long ago was that? That's a whole child growing into a man we talking about. That's what, 30 years ago maybe? Yeah, brother. That ain't what was going on then. They changed the name of the damn basketball team from Bullets to something else because there's a different time. It's going back to that though. You get the point? Like what's going on now in the area is not the usual, it's not the norm. It's a little bit higher than the norm. It's escalated. Even who is being involved in all these incidents it's not just grown men. We're talking about 12-year-olds now. 12-year-olds taking everybody, all their parents' firearms from their house and going into the streets and doing God knows what. You get the point? Not to mention whatever police involvement you have with it. This is a time where it's a little bit unprecedented. It's getting there. You get the point? Which horsemen we have running?
My man, I would say all of them.
Break it down.
With a white horse, that's Christ. You got I.S.U.P.K, the Spirit of Christ. I believe the red.
You can find it. You can find it.
Carson.
You have it?
I'm looking to pull it up now.
No sweat. No sweat. Anybody else want to try it? It's in Revelation. All right, but for the sake of what I'm talking about now with the extreme violence and the war, I might need this back on though. So it's right after a while. Go ahead. This is one. Go ahead. 1, 2. I leave it like that for now. I'll let you know. I might need it slower. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the black horse is more.
Let's find it. I don't want to paraphrase. Let's just find it. Right? Let's just find the vials and the horsemen real quick.
Come.
All right. Anybody else who have it?
Come.
All right. So the brother who had the question online, you can stop. This is something you can stop. You could absolutely decide to stop. You can come in. You can come in and be part of that. And enlist yourself, subject yourself to that alcohol and drug abuse program, and begin getting strong again. All right, it's a very rigorous program. You can turn back one more, just one more. It's a very rigorous program. You have to subject yourself to it, of course, but it's absolutely voluntary. This is not something that you have to do. All right, you could volunteer to do it and become better for it, or you could just carry on being, a drug addict, right? And it sounds like you're already disgusted with yourself, which is good. It's a good place to be disgusted with yourself and how you currently live. That's a very, very good place to be, because now you want to do better, right? Sometimes with us as a people, we need to hit bottom. We need to hit, to not have any hope again, to be really crushed in the spirit before we start to get right and ask for help and really take heed to the help. That's the other part of it sometimes, because the help is not coming from a blue-eyed, long-nosed, blonde-hair person. We don't receive the help because it comes from somebody who looks just like us. And of course, we hate ourselves. So when somebody who look like you telling you what to do, you hate it and reject it. So you are in a very good place, brother. Whoever, what's his name again?
His name is Richard, sir.
Richard, did he reply where he's from?
La, sir.
All right, you're in a very good place, mentally and, at least for yourself personally, you're in a good place, and so it's a good thing. So just type in what city you're in, so I can give you the number. You get in contact with the school there. You take it one day at a time. Let whoever is the camp leader know that you're interested in getting in enlisting in that alcohol and drug program. So you could become a brand new man. You ain't got to have some plan to be a god anymore, or some bottle that you're gonna piss out in 2 hours. You drink, you have one of them drinks in 2 hours. You pissing that thing out. No, that's your god. Your god is in the toilet. You could be way better than that. All right. What we have?
I believe it's Revelation 6. Revelation 6.
All right, that's fine. I don't need each one breakdown. Just find where it is and just read this horse is whatever, and we go through it quickly so we can keep moving. All right.
Okay.
Who has the article about the mental health with election?
I have some.
All right, no sweat. Go ahead, Shabbat. Come on with it, though.
Book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto him, unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth.
You understand? That pale horse, and I believe the red horse, Definitely, all them wars and that violence was going on, that death that going on with the sword, with hunger, with this, with that. That's running through the earth right now, big time. They're talking about that Gaza thing, brother. So they're dying from starvation. They say starvation is a whole other complication going on besides the war. You know what I mean? And the weather changing now and all that. They're in hell. They're in absolute hell. You get the point? Like the earth is upside down, and you here worrying because you lose who you thought would have won lost, and now you have no hope in life. It's crazy. Go ahead. Come on with it.
Book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 4. And then went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
Right? That red horse. That's what you're getting with all them crimes and random shit that going on. I mean, it's affecting, it's literally, it's affecting everybody. You know what I mean? Today there was a story, I think this is somewhere, where's La Plata? I think it's La Plata. La Plata, that's Maryland, right? Some brother, he shot his stepson over chores. You understand? Like, the shit is ridiculous. Another brother threw the baby into the wall playing that 2K. Like, what we experiencing now is, you know, it's in the Bible. It's absolutely in the Bible, and just the combination of what's going on now is going to drive us to insanity if we don't come find Commander General Yahanna and the I.S.U.P.K. It's going to drive you to full out insanity. You'll hear stories and you'll be like, what in the hell is going on? I don't understand it. You're gonna go mad. You get the point? Give me Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, and start at 1. All right, did the brother write what city he from here?
No, sir.
No sweat. The brother who talked about being a drug addict and an alcoholic and having those issues, just type in what city you're in, what city and state you're in, Baba Pasha, and you could get some help. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13 and verse 1. All right.
Wisdom of Solomon 13 and 1. Surely vain are all men by nature, but who are ignorant of God? Slack who are ignorant of God.
Go ahead, read it again from the top.
Surely vain are all men by nature.
It says, surely vain are all men by nature. Meaning what? By nature, all men are attributed to nothing, committed to nothing, loyal to nothing. The things you do naturally mean nothing, which is why it's so crazy that people are so depressed over Kamala Harris not winning. Like the whole Democratic party right now is doing an overhaul. Every Democrat you watch on the TV right now is making excuses. They can't find their way. They're saying we'll overcome. We had to do this. We had to do that. It's vanity. It's all nothing, because man's carnal desire is selfishness. At the very base of it, a man's carnal desire, mankind, his carnal desire is only for himself and to please himself, right? And you saw it tremendously with that quote-unquote Democratic Party and its alliances and its supporters. They're so selfish that their leader at 82 years old, he sends a young man to go fight a war with a bigger, more established man who could kill him. You understand? And that's when he gave the green light for Ukraine in recent times. And this is who rules over us. You get the point? This is who your mayors and your councillors tell you to vote for. This is who your preachers tell you, he's the better candidate, man. Not saying Trump is any better, but these are the people who, they want us to go for. Surely by nature, all men are vain. Vanity. Nobody cares about what is real and tangible anymore. Everybody only focuses on the selfishness that comes with nature. Keep reading. Go ahead.
He responded. He says, okay, brother, I'm from Baltimore. I see next camps there teaching. I haven't seen I.S.U.P.K.
Well, it might be too high. That's why. We own Baltimore, brother.
We
own Baltimore. We own Baltimore from the east to the west and the north to the south. All right. You probably see the other camps there because they also get high and have alcohol problems. But Commander John Yahanna owns Baltimore. We have soldiers in that city, back to front, left to right, food programs, camps, classes going on. So you're sadly mistaken, brother. I can't give you the number if you want help, or do you want to go to the other camps for help? All right. You're free to do that too. All right. You'll forgive me. I don't like hearing about, I don't like nobody telling me what no other camp. I feel like it's like a woman talking about another man. So like, I'm that extreme with this shit. Don't tell me nothing about nobody else who in the UPK. All right, you're here for help. We can help you. You don't want the help. You shut him out and keep going. All right, keep reading the question.
Who are ignorant of God, and could not, out of the good things that are seen, know Him that is.
That's why you say you only see somebody else and not the UPK, because you are ignorant of God and you are vain by nature. You get the point? You're ignorant of God and you can't see the things that are of the Lord. And that's what's going on with us right now. We're going through a whole mental crisis as a people. Of course, America is sobbing and crying. They're talking about there's some movement in South Korea called 4B, which is a feminist movement of the Korean woman. They say South Korea has the lowest birth rate in the whole world. And the Korean government openly attributes this to extreme feminism, which means them women want to be liberated and don't want to get bread. You get the point? I'm going to be very crass. Get bread. That needs to be on a shirt. Pray for a man to come and breed you. That's what you need. You get the point? That's where a nation comes from. And it's very normal and natural and it's holy and good as the Sabbath day. You understand? This whole movement of getting rid of the future, that's LGBTQ propaganda, LGBTQ design, LGBTQ fabrication, because they want to be in charge. And for them, you can't do what they do if you have a child that you're responsible for. You get the point? So this whole the whole idea of you don't have to have a family, or you don't have to remain within the standards and the tenets of the traditional way, they're fighting against it strong, right? And they're now taking a huge interest in America because of Trump's victory, which means they're going to flood money in here to divide our households. You get the point? And who would they target as they try to get support for their aim and their agenda? Who do you think they're going to target? Who all the ads going to be geared to? Who all the missions and the commercials and the programs? Who's that going to be geared to? Shabbat?
Young people.
Say again?
Particularly women.
Our people, black and brown people, particularly our women, is going to be geared to. So you're going to have to watch for all of that. You're going to have to absolutely watch for it, because men are vain by nature, selfish and full of nothing. And you ignorant of the law. That's what the scripture said. You're ignorant of the law. Keep going.
Neither by considering the works did they acknowledge the work master.
And neither by considering the works did you acknowledging the work master. Meaning, you see the world, you see the ostrich and the elephant. I saw a video with an elephant recently. They got some intelligence with them, bro. Yeah, this elephant eating a long stalk of sugar cane, long as shit. And there's another small elephant come up to him, and his trunk is on the thing. Don't you know this elephant put the cane on the ground and break off a piece just the size for the small elephant? Put the cane on the ground with the trunk, stepped on it. It's almost like he measured the thing, stepped on it, and then gave it to, and the young one took it and it went off. And I ain't never seen an animal share. I don't know about you. You ever seen an animal share? You might see a dog move aside for the next one.
Right.
But I ain't never seen somebody break it and hand it to you as an animal. I've never seen that shit. That shit was amazing. And if you know anything about them elephants, how they communicate, brother, they say underneath the soles of their feet, they have vibration sensors under the soles of their feet. You know, they have toes and shit in that big old thing. That big old thing, they got toes under there and the skeleton is like a foot. And they say that they could communicate over land by I'm using the word grunting, but it's like a sonic sound they make with a trunk. They put a trunk on the ground, and they could growl like damn near. And elephants far away, they communicating by the vibration that comes from that, and they know where each other are, and they could communicate, and they get back up, and they could call for help and say, well, this one missing, and they communicate all the way through, brother. And that's a creature from the Creator. And man will look at that and be amazed at the elephants and worship the elephants and, try to form a sanctuary for the elephant. Nothing wrong with caring for animals. But then come to say there is no God. Like, you pattern everything after the Lord. Everything. These cell phones, the camera in the cell phone is patterned after your eye. The Kodak, the Canon camera is patterned after your eye. They cut your eye open and see how you focus, see how the messages go to your brain, and they build the camera off of that. All them planes, they build it after birds. All them stealth bombers and shit, they build that shit after birds. The submarine, they cut whales open and see how the body reacts to go up and down and store. They pattern everything after the creature. But they will never give the Lord the acknowledgement. They'll never say, well, damn, somebody made this, and he's in charge. And that's why man by nature is vain and selfish and has no care for anybody else. And that's why Biden, because he couldn't rule, he decides, no, we're going to start a war. Imagine this. At 82 years old, if you won, babies had to die. If you lose, grown men have to die. That's why the Lord said you have to die.
Right.
By his hands for the wiretaps. Just in case you're, thinking about kicking in the door. The Lord gonna put them to death. It ain't got nothing to do with me. FBI headquarters. Go ahead.
I mean, even the things you was naming was like the most miraculous things, but like even something small like the court system. That's a vision of what heaven looks like. What I mean?
That's right on the Bible. The court system is 12 because it's 12 tribes. It's called a jury because it's Jews. You get the point? There's a whole judge, a lawyer. Why is it called a lawyer?
That's how you say Levi.
That's because that's Levi's name. He kept the law. It's called a lawyer because in Hebrew, Levi's name is law. Yeah. Everything comes from the Lord, but yet still there's no appreciation for the Lord. There's no acknowledgement for the Lord. There's no concession to say, well, I want to do this, but what does the Bible say about abortion? What's the Bible say about this? What does the Bible say about that? They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. And the sad part is our people follow after them. And right now we're in a bad mental state. Bad mental state. Give me the article if you're any one of them.
Go
ahead.
Okay, I'm sharing this article.
Mm-hmm.
This is an article from Fortune magazine. It says millions were devastated by the election results. Millions were devastated by the election results. So were their therapists.
Millions were devastated by the election results. So were their therapists. Imagine you work in trauma in ER and about 500 people come in with trauma wounds and blood all over the place. You're going to lose your mind. Well, that's what it's like to be a therapist right now. Go ahead.
Here's how they pushed through together.
Mm-hmm.
Election day itself was certainly a grueling one for campaign staffers, poll workers, and political.
Read it one more time.
Election day itself was certainly a grueling one for campaign staffers, poll workers, and political reporters.
Go ahead.
But the day after is when things got tough for therapists, many of whom saw their practices go into overdrive while already feeling personally upset over the election's outcome.
Now, how are you going to be the doctor to fix people and you sick? Who going to fix you? How you's the one who's supposed to help me? You're supposed to go on that couch and say, listen, I'm seeing dead people, butterflies all over the place. I'm having, what's called them things? Intrusive thoughts. I'm having these intrusive thoughts. And they're winning, and I look to you to get some help, and you putting up a couch and sitting down next to me, and you telling me the same thing. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Like the therapist is being overwhelmed because everybody just so, you had your heart so set on Kamala, which is why the Lord was so right to make her lose. The Lord was right. It's not that he was with Trump, it was he was against Kamala. And he's against Kamala because you turned your back on the Lord, and the Lord is not, he's not to be played with in that way. He's not to be played with. He's gonna make you feel something. He's gonna make you feel exactly what he feels every damn day. You calling on Allah, you're breaking the Lord's heart. You calling on Krishna and Buddha and everybody else, you're offending the Lord. So now the Lord sought to offend you in an election, and now you're sick because of it. And all that is in the Bible. Give me some more.
This morning, I was more or less crying while my client was crying.
Dang.
An upstate New York therapist, Danielle, who requested her first name be used out of privacy concerns, said on Wednesday. She says she started the day off thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and had at one point considered taking Wednesday off. But then I was like, I can't take the day off, she says. I'm a therapist. Being a mental health professional is always intense, of course. This week just brought a bit more intensity to many practices, particularly those with clients that supported Kamala Harris.
I don't know what y'all gonna take away from this one. I know what I'll take away. Trust in the Lord. The Bible says, don't trust in the hand of man. You get simple and you trust in the hand of woman. now your heart broke. It's crazy. Keep going.
It also brought a higher volume of patients. On Wednesday, nationwide mental health bookings on ZocDoc, a virtual platform, jumped by 22% between the hours of 6 and 8 a.m. alone.
So they don't seek to the AI. I think that them virtual stuff, some of them they give you an actual person to talk to, but a lot of them is that AI you're talking to. You know what I mean? Like it's so bad because why? You could not get, what you wanted. You couldn't get what you wanted, and now really everything has to suffer. Now imagine this is in New York. This is going on all over the country, to be honest with you, right? And in some other parts of the world that depend on America, right? It's going on all the way through. Now imagine you go to your, somewhere to a dentist for something, and he's stressed and he had to work on you. Like this place is you're gonna see the effects of it professionally because people are so devastated of what happened. And now you're seeing more the mental fragility of our people. Like we done shown that we are very mentally fragile if this thing brought us to this point. And that also shows another thing, that we are so down bad. We put all our hope in Kamala Harris. We did not hope to the Lord. We did not pray to the Lord and say, man, if the Lord is with it, please put this woman in, we'll follow her. We didn't do that. We prayed to her like she was God. We supported her like she was God. And God got beat. And now it's a reset. Now it's the little rainbow thing spinning on them Apple computers. That's what's going on in everybody's head. We can't make sense of it because God got beat. How the hell could this happen? God got beat. That's what's going on with people right now. There's a serious mental illness going on. Let's keep going.
Mental health provider Spring Health reported a 24% increase in member account creation from November 4th to November 5th. And most significantly, a dramatic 240% surge in appointment bookings from the 3rd to the 4th of November.
240%? Wow. Y'all could just come and pay some tithes and get some counseling. I mean, you watch about 200 of my classes, your anxiety going to go down by 50%. I guarantee you that shit. It's going to go down by 50%. You watch the Black Watch radio show, you're going to be healed. Straight up, you pay some tithes. You get the point? Any more? Go ahead.
Crisis lines also saw a jump. The Trevor Project for LGBTQ youth told the Washington Post it saw 100.
Read that again. That's a good. I was hoping you found that part.
Crisis lines also saw a jump. The Trevor Project for LGBTQ youth told the Washington Post it saw 125% increase in calls, texts, and chat messages on election day and on Wednesday. Crisis text line saw its volume increase by a third on election day.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The LGBTQ community is going through it. They was already mentally insane. Now you believe you're a man trapped in a woman's body, a woman trapped in a man's body, and you're going through severe anxiety. You get the point? Where is this written in the Bible? Who knows? What we just read. Where is it written in the Bible? Anybody, come on with it.
I'm looking for not paraphrase.
I'll take it.
It's like when the Lord say, you trusted in Egypt, you went down to
That's a good one. I'll take that second. But there's one that describes this, I mean, damn near verbatim.
Can you say it one more time?
No. I cannot. Too long. Goddamn shit. I'm trying to challenge your brain, brother. Because okay, this is what you're gonna need right now in this time. Like all your family members gonna say stuff to you, all friends and whatever, and you're gonna need to be able to show them it plainly as day. Plain as day. Anybody? Anything online?
Salaki, sir.
For a time, say, come on with it up.
Is it Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17?
Let me hear it.
As for us, our eyes, Salaki. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
That's good. I'll take that third. That's a good precept. The third is really fighting for second place. Read it one more time.
Khan. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
That's a perfect precept, especially for that Kamala who ain't show up at Howard. That's a perfect precept. They was watching, they waiting for her, watching with bated breath, waiting, and she could not help. She couldn't show up. She couldn't do nothing to alleviate whatever they was going through. That's good. Not that one. Anybody else? Go ahead, McQuarrie.
There's someone online. Water. Makwalat says, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
I'll take that too, but that's not it. This is way more common. You got Yahanna, brother?
No.
You sure?
Come on.
Come on. If you all don't know, let me know, and I'll start to bribe you all with answers now. I'll put the envelope with money. Give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 28 and 29. Chapter 28, verse 28 and 29. Whoever have it, listen.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28.
Take your mic.
Chapter 28, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
With what?
With madness.
With what?
With madness.
What is a synonym for madness? Insanity. Mental illness, mental health crisis. Smite. Smite is a blow. Instant. Sudden. On November 4th, everybody was like, woo, flights to DC, yay, Kamala, first woman, this, blah, 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 Kamala, anti-Kamala, Mamala, all kind of dumb shit y'all talking. By midnight, smitten with madness. Go ahead.
Oh, God. And blindness.
And blindness. Now you don't know what the future holds. Now you can't see what it is going on. I can't understand it. We had so much support. Like, what's next? Like, Oh my gosh, the transgender think, you know, they're going to be the Jewish people and Trump going to be the Gestapo. And they're going to put every rainbow in a concentration camp. Literally, that's what they think. They think they're going to be hunted now. Go ahead.
Oh, God. An astonishment of heart.
An astonishment of heart. Shocked. You're totally flabbergasted now. You cannot understand how. I'm going to tell you straight up. Personally, this ain't doctrine. Personally, I think he probably was right that they stole the election. Because how in the hell you in the popular vote and you a damn felon? You was in damn jail for half the election. You have January 6th looming over your goddamn head. And you beat this broad so bad, they didn't have an answer. Maybe he was right about 2020. Because back then he was free. Maybe he was right. I don't know. But for the life of me, if y'all say they stole the election back then, surely he weakened now. He had January 6th looming over his head. He got, you know, all these felony counts. God damn. And he come out and blaze your, not even an answer back. I mean, I can halfway see how you're losing your mind because it should not making no sense. It's not making no sense. Keep reading that.
Verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday.
And thou shalt grope at noonday. Thou shalt grope at noonday. What does that mean? It's an old school scripture. I remember being on 7th and 8th here in command journey, how to break this shit down. I never saw the scripture in my life before. Thou shalt grope at noonday. What does that mean? Come on, goddamn, what's going on with y'all? Don't tell me y'all astonished. Y'all feeling a type of way? Come on.
Like you don't know what's going on in the daylight.
That's exactly it. Like when would you normally grow?
When you wake up in the middle of the night trying to go to the bathroom.
You're trying to turn the lights on because you ain't trying to get fully awake. In fact, you're like this. And if you're smart, you go back to when you was 5 years old, when you close your eyes and count steps. And then you hit your knee. Y'all never used to do that as kids. You pretend you was blind and walk around the house. Y'all never did that shit?
God, sir. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, you're trying to make me sound like I retarded. Y'all never do it. Every child does that shit. Close their eyes and try to figure out where shit is. That's how you are. At night, or if the power goes out, power go out right now. You're going to get up. You're going to feel your way around here. I know this here, you have spatial awareness. You know this here, you start shuffling your feet. Because you ain't want to walk fully. You're just shuffling to try to feel out. And you're feeling, you would grow up when there's no light. But it's noonday. Noon means the sun is high in the sky. It's bright everywhere. And you still... That's what's going on now with people. People are saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what next. What's going to happen? You shall grope at the noonday. That's a curse in the Bible. And we live in it right now. The Bible is real. Show me that in any other book. Go ahead.
And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness.
You understand? That's what's happening with us right now. The therapist who's supposed to offer, counseling and a safe place. You go in there, the therapist more scared than you. You might have to consult the therapist. He was like, well, listen now, you come in there, you have a wife who's Latino, you trying to get her through the immigration thing, you worried, you go in there, the therapist worse off than you. You realize you might have to be the therapist. Sit down, tell me all about it. No problem. You want some coffee? Therapist in there crying with you, not because they feel sorry for you, but because they in shambles too. All over an election, and it's really the Lord. Go ahead.
It's a lot. It's a different thing, but it reminds me of that movie, The Sixth Sense, with Bruce Willis, and the little boy was like, I see dead people.
Mm-hmm.
And the little boy trying to tell him the whole time, you the one with the problem. But I can see you, so there's something wrong with me too.
In a way, down there. No, I see how you relate it in a down there. Like you, and really that's perfect because he's dead and he don't know he's dead.
Right.
And he walking around like he alive and he, he's straight, but he dead. And we the ones really right now, we don't understand what's going on with America. Go ahead.
It's a lot. It was such a drastic ending. when you found out he was dead. And I went back and watched the movie again. And when you first saw the little boy at the beginning, the little boy was running from him.
Oh, for real? I can't even remember this shit. That used to be one of my favorite movies. That used to be one. You making me want to go back and watch the shit now. I might go watch the shit tonight. Yeah. You get the point? So that's what's going on with us. We smitten with blindness and madness, groping in noonday. Go ahead.
I'm constant. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled even more.
Evermore.
Evermore, evermore, and no man shall save thee.
You understand? Because we're looking for a man to save us instead of looking for God to save us. Right? And to you Old Testament fools out there, Christ is on behalf of the Lord. So now you don't use this to say, well, Christ is a man, and you say don't look for a man to save you, look for God. Listen, Christ is the arm of the Lord. You get the point? We looking for Christ to return. We looking for Christ to come home back. You get the point? But we trusting in man. We hoping Kamala would have saved us. Saved us from what? Saved us from Trump, a white supremacist, a racist, a bastard at heart, a real immigrant. Like you want saving from that. It doesn't matter which wing. It's the same bird, it's the same eagle. It doesn't matter which devil. They're all the same thing. Whatever was done to us before there's nothing different going to be done to us now. And to try to separate the two is going to be madness. It's going to be insanity. You're going to be sick. You're going to be plagued in your mind. You get the point? Any more questions online?
Wow, sir.
So now I just want to get a little bit from this book, right? This book is called Madness, right? Race and Insanity in a Jim Crow Asylum, right? It was a study, not a study, but yeah, you could say it's a study on mental health in the Black community in the early 1900s, right? And how they would deal with us, how they would treat us, and certain things that happen. And it has a very uncanny thing. It's based on a mental hospital out there in Salisbury, Maryland, right? It's now called hold on, Crown something. Hold on. Let me tell you what it is. Crownsville Hospital, or it was Crownsville, but changed to the National something. All right. Let me give you a little bit. Crownsville State Hospital, formerly Maryland's Hospital for the Negro Insane. All right. And brother, it's crazy how they would handle us and categories they would put us in, and not realizing it's again similar to now. Our mental health and our mental state came directly from slavery. It came from being oppressed, and it's the same thing now. Like people so wanted to see Kamala Harris in there because Trump so much represented a slave master subconsciously in everybody's mind. He so much represented, that stern hand of white supremacy, which goes back, beyond anything, which is why Kamala's mantra was, "We are not going back." With the woman walking, and the woman had some of them had on the construction jobs, the lawyer suits. You all saw the picture. There was a logo she had with like 4 women in professional clothes, and they're walking in a direction, and under it says, "We are not going back," meaning going back to what? Barefoot and pregnant. What do you think? Barefoot and pregnant in the house. We're gonna be progressive. That's what they say. This one is progressive. This one is more for women being able to do this, that, the other, because that's the campaign they wanted. Because subconsciously they wanted the image of Trump in their mind as the white supremacist who gonna put you back in the house, put you back in the kitchen, this, that, the other. When that really has nothing to do with us. This is just white people's problem and white people fighting for white people. You get the point? So let me get a little bit here, right? This is right at the beginning. Just a excerpt. On a cold day in March of 1911, officials marched 12 Black men into the heart of a forest in Maryland. Under the supervision of a doctor, the men were forced to clear the land, pour cement, lay bricks, and harvest tobacco. When construction finished, they became the first 12 patients of the state's hospital for the Negro Insane. Now you tell me that's some cold-blooded shit out. You just take these brothers, take them out into the middle of nowhere, more than likely at gunpoint, probably gave them, beer rations to eat, and they built this hospital. Don't think huge, just think, like a small library, that size, like a very small library, because it's going to start somewhere, and of course, once it starts, they'll get funding to do more. And these men, I think they took 3 seasons to build this hospital, which means probably spring, summer, fall, right? And these 12 brothers built it, and after it was done, they were committed to that madhouse. And they wonder why we angry and we mad. They wonder why we sometimes have off days, why we shit that they do don't make sense because of stuff like this. You get the point? This thing is transferred generationally in your DNA. I think John Mahagan brought it out recently in class, right? I think last year I brought out the whole the trauma gene, where they say there's a trauma gene in black people from slavery. It is a genetic change in your DNA that's not in anybody else, which is why the curses know who the hell we are. Sometimes people wonder, well, how the curses, when they say the curses will overtake you and pursue you, it knows your DNA. Like we're different type of people. You get the point? It's because of stuff like this. You get the point? Let me give you some more. When construction finished, the 12 became the first 12 patients of the state's hospital for the Negro insane. For centuries, black patients have been absent from our history books. Madness transports readers behind the brick walls of the Jim Crow asylum. Mental health has been treated up until recently as really something that only affected white people. Even in our communities, mental health wasn't respected. And that's not because we don't care about mental health. We've never really known to be able to identify mental health. We've never had that because we've never been separate. We've never had our own culture to determine what was good and normal and what was abnormal behavior. We've always been in the shadow of this empire, at least for the last 400 or 500 years, right? So there were mental health institutions because, of course, segregation on us, and it was a horrible, horrible experience, all right? Shabbat, I might need it for the rest of it. All right, I'm gonna tell you. I need chapter 2 and chapter 4. 8:14. Let's see if we can try and get through this. All right, hold on. All right, you're gonna read this whole first paragraph here. Then you're gonna drop down to here where it's underlined. All the way to the next page. I'm gonna guide you through. Then we're gonna go to chapter 4. All right. All right. Let me get the paper. Get on that. Go ahead. I mean, you probably want to read it here, so it's easy for me to get back and forth with you.
Come.
You good?
Cut, sir.
Good. Do you think?
Come. All the superintendent's men.
Put your mic to stop. So catch your voice.
Come. Chapter 2, all the superintendent's men.
Mm-hmm.
The first 12 patients arrived on March 13, 1911, but they were not welcome to a hospital ward. They were taken to an open field. These men had been transferred from the otherwise all-white Spring Grove Hospital and taken into the heart of the woods near modern-day Bacon Ridge Park. A man named Dr. Robert Winterroad stood before them. He would be their leader, their superintendent. He welcomed them to their new home and shouted directions. Together, they began to harvest willow plant, clear the forest. They began to harvest willow plant, clear the forest, and begin the backbreaking work of building an asylum.
Right? They built the asylum and they also harvested tobacco. Right? Skip down to the lines down there.
Come. At the turn of the 20th century.
What you looking on that one? Do I need to switch it?
No.
Okay.
At the turn of the 20th century, lawmakers in Maryland were presented with a new and daunting problem.
Is that Christ?
Man, I hope, brother. I hope. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, you also had the whole UFO. What is it? Not the Senate. What's called that thing? The congressional hearings about UFOs last week. And they had it a few years ago and all that. I mean, come on now. Go ahead.
Slocking. Maryland were presented with a new and daunting problem.
Mm-hmm.
Rising insanity among Negroes who were free. In the view of many...
Right, so at the turn of the century, meaning at the beginning of the 1900s, right, that's what they say, right? 1911. Right, so at the turn of the century, meaning early 1900s, they say the state of Maryland was presented with a new problem, and that's a problem that America had, or said they had, which was, read it again?
Presented with a new and daunting problem.
Mm-hmm.
Rising insanity among Negroes who were free.
Rising insanity among the Negroes who were free. So the free Negroes, they had a mental problem. The ones who were not free, there's no problem with them niggas. They're some good niggas, boy. They're good. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But the free ones is a problem. Keep going.
In the view of many prominent physicians at the time, the end of slavery had created a kind of aimless vagrant who needed to be concealed and concealed and incarcerated in a new form of institution.
Right, that's what they said. They said these new free Negroes. This created a new free Negro who was aimless and had problems and need to be concealed and incarcerated. Meaning, when so-called freedom happened, their version of freedom was just letting you go. Remember, you gain a nation of people who grew up on a plantation. That's all they know. You get the point? Imagine a small town. The equivalent of it today would be like a small town where generations of people worked at a factory, and this factory provided for everybody. And one day the factory closed, and they have no other way of getting income, no other way of eating, nothing like that. If you wanted to equate the effect, that's probably the best way you could probably understand it. You get the point? Because we had no structure, we had no land that was ours. It wasn't segregated where it was ours. We had people up north who lived up north, but even that, it was still a form of slavery just under white people, and was the best option. You get the point? But it wasn't really free. But if you're in the South and you get freed from a plantation, you get your papers, where you gonna sleep? Where you gonna work? How you gonna eat? Which is how they introduced the sharecropping, where they leased you land, and you were sharing the crops. You get the point? You were sharing. They had shares. You had shares in the crop. A certain amount of crop you have to produce for master, and you could keep the rest. And of course, he could come and take the top, the cream of the crop, and you keep the rest. That's how they damn near get you right back into the slavery. Because they say this was a problem. That's what they said. Go ahead.
In Maryland, these patients who had previously lived in subhuman conditions in poorhouses and around the state were often described as infantile at best, or terrorists and criminals at worst. And Maryland was not alone in observing that large numbers of Black Americans seemed to be emotionally or mentally unwell.
I wonder why. I wonder why. Why were we emotionally and mentally unwell? I wonder why. Could it be slavery? Could it be the oppression? Could it be living conditions? Could it be just that? And the same thing is being repeated today, and we supposedly what? Free. You could vote, right? So how was we in the same condition? Because we're really not free. We're absolutely not free, and we're going to see some more of it here. Go ahead.
For more than a century, white physicians across the South have been writing about their theories on the minds of constitutions of Black people. At first, during the height of the chattel slavery, Many of them believed enslaved people were completely immune to mental illness thanks to the care of their masters and their time spent in the fields outdoors.
Don't I feed you niggas? What mental illness? You see it in sports today. That Antonio Brown, remember when he had the thing and he just walked off, they said it was mental illness. When he was just like, F y'all, I ain't doing this shit no more. Y'all ain't gonna push me around. Right? Simone Biles had to take time off. And they're looking at it like, how could they have mental illness? Don't they have millions of dollars? What is they talking about? These people have mental illness too. And the oppressor had the same thing. We're no different than before. We're no different. Like the book $40 Million Slaves, money don't mean nothing. Your jobs don't mean nothing. We're still slaves under these devils, and we experience the same symptoms as before. Right, anyone? Come on, Slacky.
It's like, if I could, I remember there was a scene in Jerry Maguire where they was giving like little interviews, and it was this one dude that was on there that every time that they go on this show, the host would have them do something and they would cry. And this one brother was like, people don't understand the problems $40 million come with. And everybody, you know, kind of like make fun of him. Was like, well, if I had $40 million, I would want them problems. But it's still problems.
It's still problems all the way around because we're not free.
Constant.
We're absolutely not free. Now, of course, you rich niggas, y'all man up in this shit. Because, yeah, I mean, you can afford the therapist. You get the point? Most of us do what? Get addicted to drugs like Richard. You get the point? Go ahead. Let's keep reading. I want to get a chapter 4 too, all right?
Come.
Yeah, please. I want to go all the way to here. All right? Because I sent you an article on your Facebook Messenger earlier.
I got it pulled up.
Because that's going along in chapter 4, all right?
I got it pulled up, sir.
All right, so what?
Go ahead. But a growing number of escaped and free black populations altered their hypnosis. Throughout the 19th century, one doctor by the name of Dr. Francis Stribling created a set of criteria for the care of Negroes in asylums. Primary to his criteria was that black and white people were different and must, therefore, be treated separately. He also believed a patient's cure should involve work that was similar to what that person did prior to hospitalization.
So, black and white people were different. But to cure the mental insanity, you should continue doing the same work you was doing before. So if you're a white man and you're crazy, you continue being a slave master. If you're a nigga and you're crazy, you continue being a slave. But we just don't keep you all separate. Right? Go ahead.
Oh, God. For black people, that meant more unpaid physical labor. Stribling was the chair of Virginia's Mental Health Commission and a member of the American Psychiatric Association. His writings influenced psychiatry throughout the 19th century.
Right. So this devil, he was based in Virginia and of course had reach with Maryland, and with his experiments and his writings, he damn near was one of the fathers of American psychiatry for the nation. You get the point? They go back to him just like with medicine. They go back. What's the devil name? Sims, J. Marion Sims. They call him the father of modern gynecology because he was cutting women open on that slave plantation with no anesthesia to see the insides of it. You get the point? Go ahead.
Oh, God. And his senior position influenced the state of Virginia to create the Central Lunatic Asylum for Colored Insane in 1817. Decades before Maryland had come to the realization that their state might need to do the same. In Maryland and across the country, white doctors, politicians, and local level leaders became desperate to do something about what they believed were poor, unemployed, and mentally unwell black politicians.
Right.
Populations.
Right. So really, okay, after so-called free slavery was abolished and brothers and sisters were free, they found a way to still have us incarcerated or in chains, and it was due to that mental health. And in some cases, it was just the display of it due to the oppression from slavery. Like slavery, it's, you're robbed of all rights and humanity. You strive every day to be and feel like you're something, but daily you're being reminded that you're nothing. Over time, that's going to cause a psychological breakdown. It's going to cause mental erosion. You're not going to be the same. You're not going to function the same. And you have generations of people who are, involved in that. Virginia was ahead of the curve by decades compared to Maryland. No wonder today, how many people like Virginia today? You all like living in Virginia, driving through Virginia? I think it's in our blood. Don't nobody like to go over that goddamn bridge. Yeah, I mean, you got to go somewhere. You telling them, meet me on 14th Street, nigga. I ain't going to Virginia to do nothing. Go ahead, Al.
What you were saying is shown to us every day that we had nothing. All we got to do is watch TV. They try to put us as the face of everything bad.
Exactly. Everything bad, everything negative, and of course, everything good is dead. All right. Let me see where you are. I might have skipped it to the next side. I definitely want the next side. Go ahead. What's up? What's up?
Also, Priest and Officer War says in capital letters, I hate VA.
Listen, I don't know a nigga who likes Virginia. I don't know one. You have business in Virginia. You're trying to go in and leave. You ain't even want to be there. Go ahead.
He ran New Jersey.
You know what I mean?
He hates Virginia.
Okay, hold on. I might need that paragraph. Give me that middle one, then we go all the way up to here. All right? Go ahead. Then we get chapter 4.
So when we jump down to here?
No, the paragraph he was reading.
Okay. Yeah, I'm almost finished.
Right, go ahead.
Come, sir. And mentally unwell black populations wandering around, taking up space at almshouses.
Right? Taking up space as almshouses. Almshouses is what? Alms is
like give to the poor.
Giving to the poor. So they're saying we need to do something with all these black people wandering around aimlessly, taking up spaces at almshouses, shelters, social offices, getting what they call welfare. Almshouses. This is in the 20s and the 30s or 1911. What do they say today? We're straining the economy, all the social welfare. We 13% of the population. That welfare ain't coming from us. Zelensky getting $1 billion in welfare every 3 months. He ain't saying he need welfare. He draining the economy. But the same way they looked at us then, they're looking at us the same way now. You get the point? Read the next line. You'll be shocked at it. Go ahead.
Oh God. And allegedly menacing innocent children in towns.
Right? They're looking at the allegedly menacing innocent children in towns, meaning they're looking at our young ones the same way, like how they look at our young ones today. All right, go ahead.
Oh God. White physicians and intellectuals had long suspected the Negro race would lose its way shortly after gaining freedom.
Right, because of course to them, they're the best thing that ever happened to us. Slavery was a gift. They gave us civilization and they helped us out. And without white people, we would be, aimless and crazy and lose our minds. Keep going.
Oh God. In 1851,
and this is synonymous with what today? Make America great again. That whole campaign Trump ran on from 2016 to 2020. The whole thing was that we need to go back to when America, the good old days, and black people were better off in slavery. You had white politicians saying it. If you don't remember it, you probably want to Google it when you go home. They were saying black people were better off in slavery. There was no unemployment. There was no crime. They run on the whole thing. And they were saying it was better off when we were in slavery. These is white Republican politicians were saying this. Right? Keep going.
Oh God. In 1851, several decades before Winterroad's project began, a well-known physician by the name of Samuel Cartwright gave his ailment a professional term, drapetomia.
Right. He gave this ailment a professional term called drapetomia. Somebody look up drapetomia. You can write it on the board so they can see how to spell it. Make sure your mic is not covered by this book too, all right?
Oh,
I'm Bukwash, you can pull up the label, when you would StreamYard, we can put drapetomia at the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
All right. Nah, don't put it there. You can skip a line of the Deuteronomy, put it in the middle, nice and big. Put the eraser right here. And write it more separate than that, probably all caps, so everybody will be able to see it. It's not a common word. Not in the corner, in the middle of the board. Skip a line, come down a little more. All right, go ahead. You're gonna run out of space now. God damn. I think you might have it. Is it Mania or Mia?
Mania.
You sure?
Karon is Mania.
All right. You have the definition? If anybody has the definition, let me know. God damn, what's going on outside? Damn, Chariots is here, boy. That thundering. I read it one more time while you watch. Look at that.
Come, sir. In 1851, several decades before Winterose Project began, a well-known physician by the name of Samuel Cartwright gave his ailment a professional term: drapetomania.
Drapetomania. It's as crazy as it sounds. It sounds like a crazy word. And guess what? When you hear the definition of drapetomania, it's going to be even crazier. Go ahead, Bukwash. You have it? I know you might please that.
Khan.
What happened? Somebody saying something?
Nah, I'm on Oxford references, and it gives me like one line, and then it says, if you want the whole thing, you got to subscribe.
Yeah, because they didn't want nobody learn what the hell it means. Because brother, when you hear this, you're gonna lose your mind.
Oh God. Drapetomania was a pseudoscientific and racist medical diagnosis that claimed it's
a pseudoscientific, meaning pseudo means fake. So it's saying it's the science of the day was fake. This was a term from the early 1900s when everything was so racist, we was viewed as cattle. So what you would call science back then, that shit ain't holding no water today. You get the point? So it's a fake scientific term, and it really has no basis, right? It's a pseudo-scientific, go ahead, from scientific.
And racist.
And racist, go ahead.
Medical
diagnosis. Up even till today, till now, there are racist medical diagnoses that happen, right? Give me a racist medical diagnosis you know of today.
The kids be moving too much.
ADHD.
That one and ADHD.
ADHD. I'll take that to a point. Still consult a doctor though, because I mean, you'll see the child hang the other kid in the damn bathroom in Maryland 2 days ago or last week or some shit, right?
Cancer, yeah.
All right, then. Is that normal too, Shabbat? Shabbat goes, no, that's normal. My high school. You get the point? I'm gonna give you one that's racist, right? Serena, I'm gonna use this as an example. This happens to a lot of black women, but everybody knows this one. Serena Williams would be dead today if she wasn't who she was and wasn't aggressive with the doctor. She delivered a baby. She told them something feels wrong. She told them she don't feel right. They sent her home. You all know it ain't like long time when they keep you in the hospital. They send you home 2-3 days later. Forget about the UK. You can walk out the same day. They treat you like you a dog drop a litter. 2-3 hours later, okay, mom, time to go. And you out. You gone in there this morning, by noon, you gone. They ain't keeping you at all. Serena Williams is in there and telling them something's wrong. She gets home, she tells them something wrong. They to give her medicine, all that type of stuff. Come to find out what she had, blood clots or something. She was bleeding internally. She would have been dead if she didn't have the money to go somewhere else. And that happens to a lot of black women in childbirth. And they use that example to say what? That black women have problems and complications making children. Therefore, when you get pregnant, have an abortion. You understand? This is what's going on with us. Go ahead.
A racist medical diagnosis that claimed to explain why enslaved Africans fled captivity.
Right? This was a diagnosis to explain why black people who left the plantation, who ran away, why they did it. Go ahead.
I just got origin, treatment, and debunking after that. That's what I
Okay. Meaning, they said black people was running away from plantations because we was mentally insane. And they call it drapetomia. They gave it a term like today how they have, I don't know, what's some of these old crazy terms, this disorder. And they have something called seasonal disorder, some sleep disorder or some shit that comes from daylight savings time. They say it causes depression and anxiety. I ain't feel it. I feel them goddamn bills though. I need them bills to have seasonal this goddamn order. What do you say about that shit, man? Is that normal too? Could we get that one to be normal? Let them bills have pressure and stress. But I don't feel that shit. I think that's some other pseudo-scientific, fake, white racist shit that apply to white people. Because for the life of me, it don't matter daylight savings, jumping forward or falling back, we still under pressure. So they said that black people had a mental problem that kept us running away from the plantation. It wasn't the weapons. It wasn't the slavery. It wasn't that they sold our children. It wasn't the inhumane conditions we live in. It wasn't the outhouse. It wasn't that massa was raping your wife when you're going to work. It wasn't that they'll take your children and throw them in the alligator pond and use them for alligator bait so they could fish the alligator. That wasn't why we ran. We ran because we had a mental problem. And this was in the late 1800s. You understand what's going on? We ran because we had a mental problem. Black people, like, why won't you like the plantation? I'm feeding you. I'm giving you clothes. That's your athletes today. What they say about Dave Chappelle when he turned down the 50 million? He cuckoo, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, he crazy. Now they say what? What they say about him now, today?
He was right.
He's probably the greatest comedian of all time. That's what they say now.
Awesome.
You get the point? Like this is what we've been going through forever. Forever. Go ahead, what was going to say?
That's like I was about to say, it was a lot of us saying. A lot of his own people saying that he was crazy for doing that.
Because he's listening to I.S.U.P.K. You get the point? Any more there? Let's get back to the book. Just for the time on.
Sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I may, can I read this real quick? It's about drapetomia.
Go ahead.
It says drapetomia, Cartwright's new disease. Drapetomia was derived from two Greek words, one meaning a runaway slave, the other signifying mad or crazy. This mental disorder of slaves had one defining characteristic. The suffering had an unconscionable desire to abstain from his or her owner.
Listen, they say it had a strong trait. The unconscionable desire to flee from your owner. You must be mad. He's not well. He's psychotic because he wants freedom.
And the way it said unconscious desire, like we don't know what we're running from.
Like unconscionable, meaning you can't even fathom why you would leave. You get the point? Let me skip it to chapter 4. I think we might have to drop off from here. Let me see if anything else.
Sluggy, sir.
Go ahead.
Richard responded.
Go ahead.
He says, I would not join y'all. Y'all are rude. Must be a camp out there for me.
Yeah, exactly, nigga. Go ahead. There's a camp out there for you, and there's weed out there for you. Give him a hand. That's the Go ahead, nigga. Go ahead. Go get high. I don't give a damn. Go ahead. When I go to Baltimore, I know I'll see you somewhere. You'll ask for $1, I'll give it to you. No problem. Goddamn. He got drapetomia. He's running from his owners out. But goddamn, there must be a camp out there for me. You want to leave the plantation out. Nobody's stopping you, Richard. Go get high. Right? Hold on. In noticing a disease not heretofore classed among the long list of maladies that man is subject to, it was necessary to have a new term to express it. The cause in most cases that induces the Negro to run away from service is as much a disease of the mind as any other species of mental alienation, and much more curable as a general rule, he said this was a disease of the mind that induces the Negro to run away from service. You understand? Like, this is how America views us. And now we running to America again for help and smitten with more madness than ever before. Right? And let's skip forward. Let me get chapter 4, all right? Hold on. I think we're right here. We might have to skip through. I don't think we have time to get through everything highlighted. But we can stop. Go ahead.
So nobody else on the world suffers from this, but
well, I mean, shit. Listen, how come the Jewish man didn't have drapetomia running from the damn ovens? And they was sneaking out, digging tunnels and all kind of shit. They had so much movies about, you know, and comedies about the whole Holocaust. How come they don't have drapetomia? Does the people in the Gaza have drapetomia? Like, how is it only us? We crazy because we want our own freedom. It's absolutely crazy. Give me here for generations, right? Read the heading of that chapter 2. Go ahead.
Chapter 4. What could drive a black person mad?
Right. This is a whole study of how they dealt with us as a people in this time. And they was like, what could drive a black person mad? What could drive a Negro to run away from the plantation, to think about revolutions and escapes and turning against the slave master who done fed you and clothed you and gave you somewhere to stay? What could do it? Go ahead.
Okay. For generations, the Eastern Shore was notorious for its reliance on indentured servitude and slavery.
Right? For generations, the Eastern Shore, you all know Eastern Shore, right? Which is why that camp that you all had out there was so excellent. Did that to Yahanna. That exact told that devil, boy. I mean, I was envious of that speech. I sat down there, I was like, I should have been there to tell that shit right there. He cut that devil and he get down in her face, brother. Ooh, that was so good. That was so good because Eastern Shore has been long racist and has a good old racist stronghold from immigrants. Let's go ahead.
Okay. It was part of the proud social fabric, and it supported the entire agricultural economy and way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Long before the Chesapeake Bay Bridge united the agricultural and fishing communities of the Eastern Shore with the bustling Western Shore towns like Princess Anne, Crisfield, Deal Island, and Salisbury were more remote and rural than they are today. The area is one of the oldest American communities, with most of its inhabitants tracing their roots back to colonial migrations from England and Ireland in the 17th and 18th century.
Right? So these was colonists who came to establish colonies in America, in Maryland, and of course hitting the East Coast first. You have Maryland, Virginia, all them places. And they were immigrants from England and Ireland. Go ahead.
Your footnotes say the real illegal immigrants.
So what? They're the real illegal immigrants because they done stole this land from Gad and Reuben and got no permission to be here. And they done set up shop out there in Eastern Shore, Maryland, Salisbury, Maryland, right there where it's close to Delaware. I forget the other part of Delaware that comes down there. What's that part of Delaware? Smyrna and all them places down there. It's close down there. And what kept their economy going was slavery and indentureship, right? There's a difference between indentured labor and slavery. Indentured, anybody know what indentured means? Come on.
I mean, like, there's more like a contract.
It's literally a contract. Indentured means you sign a contract. So for places like in the Caribbean, like, Trinidad, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Barbados, where you had indentured laborers, meaning mainly the East Indians and the Chinese coming over, and then saying they were in slavery too. By definition, that's a lie. They signed a contract and got paid and got to come with their wives and kept their language and got housing and got land. That's much more different than slavery. In Eastern Shore, indentureship and slavery kept the economy going. Go ahead.
In the wake of emancipation, the status of black people changed in Maryland's Eastern Shore as it did across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Continued indentured servitude was something of an open secret, and not just on the Eastern Shore. In 1927, a grand jury
Right, so slow down right there. So they're saying now, after the so-called emancipation, until the 19th century, right? They said a lot of the status of black people changed out there because of it. Keep going.
Oh God, sir. In 1927, a grand jury report found that an institute called the House of Reformation for Colored Boys in Southern Maryland was enforcing young black boys to work on local farms and in businesses like broom factories.
Mm-hmm.
The school was intended to instruct and reform boys who had been labeled as vicious and improper, and many of the boys housed there were known to be mentally deficient.
Right, so they said these young boys, they took them and put them in this factory to make brooms, and they described them as vicious and improper. And they also labeled them as mentally deficient, which is something they always say about us, right? Go ahead.
Oh, God. The investigators found that the boys were being farmed out in direct competition with regular laborers.
Mm-hmm. So meaning, what does that mean?
Like the businesses that were using the little boys were taking the business from businesses that weren't working illegally like that.
And what's the mirror of that today? What does that happen today?
Prison.
The prison system. So they're taking these young boys and making them work in factories and taking the jobs from the white laborers.
Oh.
Same thing they're doing today. You understand?
Okay.
Go ahead.
And that in many cases they weren't receiving proper food and care.
Mm-hmm.
The investigators were especially concerned about the boys put to work in the broom shop, which was full of dust and flammable material and called a menace to the life and health.
Yeah. So they put them in factories that was hazardous conditions for their health. Just like brothers who incarcerated today, they in hazardous conditions, no rights, making license plates, so in military uniforms out in the field working in some states. Right? Let me see if I can skip you down. Hold on. Where you at? Men's life and health. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, keep reading. Right from here. Go ahead.
Okay. In the report, they wrote that apparently no industrial training of any value was provided.
In the report, they said there was no training of industrial value that was provided to these young boys that they say they was going to make their life better because they were so crazy and vicious. There was no training for them. Go ahead.
And a boy on leaving the institution is almost or quite as unfitted to face the world as he was when he was committed.
Just like prison. After you leave this mental institution, that they say, remember the white doctor before said to cure the mental problem, you had to put them to work. He put them to work in a factory that gave these brothers no skills to function in the society of that day. And they say after they leave, they're even more unfit to survive in society, just like prison. There's no reform, there's no nothing to help you. Right? Keep going. Wait, come on, let me see what that.
Sure.
I remember all the time. Yeah, keep going, because that matter thing is definitely on there. But watch, I'm gonna need that article because we're going into that here, but we might have time to pull the whole story.
The Eastern Shore fought aggressively to maintain this kind of system.
Mm-hmm.
For decades after slavery's end, black people continued to serve as the cheap labor source on the region's farms.
Or free labor force, right? Which is why when you all went to that camp, I know out there you all could feel the air. It was probably thick to breathe. Right, but because you had to tell me, I was watching this on tape, and I was like, they in the heart of white happiness out there on Eastern Shore. That's why they was walking the boardwalk drunk. They're all happy, and they're watching you niggas like, what the hell is you doing here? Why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
What is you talking about? You messing up our happy time because they done lived there for decades on people like you working for free, so it make their life better. That's what they live their life on. Keep going.
Oh God. As a result, black families live in desperate poverty. and they would sometimes give away their children, especially those with developmental disabilities, to white families looking for a laborer or maid. These children effectively became slaves again.
You understand? So because of the poverty and because of the system they had in Maryland, a lot of families would just give their children away for menial work, right? And that same thing is happening now, where you have young kids not really having a path to being a professional in any capacity, right? You having our generations doing what? You know, working as a cashier somewhere or sweeping floors somewhere. That's menial work, and that helps their economy go on. And they said they was doing this for a long while, and this helped their economy, and they wanted it like that. They say Maryland fought to keep that system, and that's where you get to Make America Great Again from. Where that's where they really want the condition they want us to have. They want us to be in that condition where there's no future, there's no community for us. They're in charge of us, and they really want this, and this would be America becoming great again. You get the point? Where we at?
Matthew.
Yeah, give me Matthew. All the way up to probably the whole of the next page too. And then we get that article, all right? Go ahead.
Matthew Buddy Williams found himself trapped in this system. Williams had known hardship from an early age. After losing his mother to pneumonia when he was just 4 years old, and then his father at age 8, he was taken in by his aunt and uncle in the Black District of Salisbury, Maryland. Newspaper records and old interviews with his relatives suggest that Matthew had a cognitive impairment.
Cognitive impairment.
Described as subnormality that made it hard for him to relate to others and to read emotion.
Right. So they say according to the newspapers and some people they ask, he had a cognitive disorder, right? Meaning certain amount of mental awareness. Doesn't mean he was crazy or retarded or nothing like that. That could come from the trauma of losing your parents, right? And they say, what's the last time they say he was what?
Made it hard for him to be able to read emotions.
Read emotions and
relate to others.
And relate to other people. He couldn't relate to other people and read emotions. Today they'll call that what? You don't know? They'll call that autism today. It's hard for you to read people's emotion. It's hard for you to read the room and really get. And that's why some of autistic kids, autistic people, they need you to say the shit. They can't just pick up on a cue. You get the point? They can't really pick up on what's going on. Like the brother who I forget who the brother's name. What's his name? Just the brother who them cops killed. He was autistic. They choked him to death in Colorado. Elijah McCain. Like how he is. You get the point? If you watch or listen to the tape, the cop is choking him and he's like, I'm good. I'll be your friend. You don't have to hurt me. Like he's not even really understanding and grasping what the hell going on. You get the point? This brother was similar to that. All right, go ahead.
Oh, God. Despite his disability, friends said that Williams valued honesty and hard work.
Right. They say one thing about him, despite that part, he valued honesty and hard work. I mean, you got to be upfront with this guy. You can't just, jerk him around. Go ahead.
Oh, God. Even so, he was viewed by both black and white residents as demented and unworthy of a regular salary. He took a job helping a wealthy man named Daniel J. Elliott for 7 or 8 years. Williams toiled in Elliott's box factory and lumber yard for $1.50 per day.
That's what his salary. And they say he had to get that salary because he wasn't, functioning on a social level that was acceptable to them. So because of that, they pay him less. Go ahead.
Oh, God. Often doing additional work for Elliott's family on the side. On December 4th, 1931, 18-year-old Matthew Williams went to work as he always did, but on this cold Friday afternoon, he was upset and he entered Elliott's office on Lake Street wanting to discuss his low wages. He found Elliott on the phone with another prominent Salisbury businessman, Thomas in Chatham.
Mm-hmm.
From the other end of the phone, Chatham heard 2 gunshots and called the authorities. The police found a mysterious scene. DJ Elliott dead at his desk. Mr. Elliott's son James alive in the room, and Matthew Williams shot several times but still alive.
Right. So this brother Matthew Williams, he went to the boss he worked for to discuss something about the wages. Some white man on the other end of the phone, he said he heard them talking and he heard 2 shots. When the police got there, the older white man is dead. Williams is on the ground bleeding and the son is there somehow. Keep going.
Go. James Elliott took control of the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
He claimed that he heard shots from the house and ran in to find his father dead and Williams covered in blood.
Right. So James is the son of the white man who Williams is working for. He's saying he heard shots from the house and ran in there to figure out what the hell is going on. Go ahead.
He said that he left to go find help. Mm-hmm. Williams tried to flee. To stop him, James shot him in the shoulder and the leg.
So the story is this young brother who had a mental disorder had a gun, shot the father. The son came in there, saw it, tried to run and go call white people. And I guess the boy stopped him. He took the gun from the boy and shot him. That's the story white boy said. Read on.
But another rumor spread on the black side of town. Matthew Williams had to fought with his boss about low pay. He had lent James Elliott a sum of money that he had saved on condition that the money will be returned. When attempts by Williams to get repaid by the younger Elliott failed, Williams tried to take the matter up with the older Elliott. James walked into their meeting, rumor had it, and shot both Williams and his own father.
Right. So what the black side of town was saying is that this brother who had the autism, the white son went to him and said, "Let me keep your salary for a time. I'll pay you back." When the time passed and he didn't get the money, he went to the father and said, "Listen, I'll deal with your son to get the money back." The son came in there, saw that shit, shot both of them because the father probably went off on it. And then the son come in there saying he murdered the father. But he's saying this because they don't put a stigma on him that he is mentally unfit. You get the point? He's mentally unfit. From this, they lynched this brother. They arrested him. He was still alive. They thought he was dead. They didn't take him to the hospital. They put him in the mental hospital. Put a straitjacket on him. The newspaper was saying, well, he's dead. Then they come to find out he wasn't dead. They took him from the hospital, threw him through the window from like 3rd floor up, threw him out the window, still strapped in a straitjacket. And the crowd went on to lynch him in front of the state courthouse in Maryland, and then drug him over to the black area where he's from and lit him on fire over there. And that's the story. Let me get some of the article.
Kind on kind. Let me get that. The water. The lynching of Matthew Williams. On November 4th, Mrs. Aubrey Jackson Matthews, 93 years old, returned to John Wesley United Methodist Church, the only institute that remained from the Georgetown neighborhood, a black business district located in Salisbury, Maryland.
And this is in what, 2021? Or 2020?
2021.
2021. She's 93 years old. She's one of his relatives. And she went back to Salisbury, Maryland on some, like a anniversary. Go ahead.
Mrs. Aubrey, nursing a foot injury, made her way up the same steps that she remembered climbing as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Up for the challenge, she reached for my hand, and I guided her up each step. After a minute or so, she finally made it to the sanctuary. She is the only one left. All of her friends and family are gone. She has survived them all. However, her community's memories live on. And upon stepping foot in the sanctuary, she was awakened to their presence. To truly understand what she lived through and the story of her community, We had traveled back in time, back 90 years when she was only 3 years old.
Right. Okay. So they're going back now to find out exactly what happened with her. All right, I'm gonna skip it on. You know they're gonna write a whole long ass thing to get into it. Keep reading the part.
On November 4th, 1931, a mob of white men in Salisbury, Maryland, lynched and set ablaze a 23-year-old black man named Matthew Williams. His gruesome murder was part of a wave of silent white terrorism in the wake of the stock market crash in 1929, which exposed black laborers to white rage in response to economic anxieties.
Right. So now, what was going on? 1929, you had the Great Depression, right? And they described this thing as a wave of, what do you call it? White silent terrorism, right? That was a term they called it back then, because this was white people blaming black people or taking out all frustrations on black people because of the economy. Does it sound familiar? It's what's going on right now. The inflation is because of what? Black people, being a drain on the economy with social, all the social welfare they get in. The immigrants is a problem. Everything like that is going to be a problem. And they're blaming us the same way for it now. Keep going.
For nearly a century, the lynching of Matthew Williams has lived in the shadows of the better-known incidents of racial terror in the Deep South, haunting both the Eastern Shore and the state of Maryland as a whole.
Go ahead.
The story of the lynching of Matthew Williams and the subsequent destruction of the Georgetown neighborhood in Salisbury, Maryland, is rife with lessons of our racial past.
Why is it rife with lessons of our racial past? Because at one time they called it, keep messing it up, silent white terrorism. What are we experiencing now? Loud white terrorism. That's what we're experiencing now. January 6th was loud white terrorism. The whole call for the immigrants is loud white terrorism. Trump just won the election 2 weeks ago, right? What's in the news right now about the immigrants? Right now, today.
I mean, that they tried to deport.
That's one thing, but there's something else out. You all remember something Lakey's her name? Joy Lakey, or some white girl who was running in Georgia.
Lincoln.
So what's her name?
I know her first name is Lincoln. I believe it's Lincoln Lakey.
Some weird ass name like that. Some white broad who was running in Georgia in the last election, which was what, 2019, 2020? They say some undocumented Latino violated her sexually and killed her. Well, today he got sentenced to life. Today. Took 4 years. It took 4 years all now. That here is starting to be a dog whistle for them now. Like, see, the immigrants is the problem. The immigrants is the problem. Yet, don't sweat it out. They're just coming. The immigrants is the problem. We had last week, they say in Virginia, some undocumented immigrant chased after some white woman to try to violate her. Got away, but they caught up to him. You're going to see a lot more of reports and incidents of quote-unquote undocumented people. You're going to see a lot more of it. However, what you're not going to see is the Iranians, the Afghans, Polish people, Russians, all of them Eastern Europeans who bring in all the drugs and the guns. You're not going to see any reports about them. Same way like how you were seeing it here. Right? Keep going.
The truth of the story offers potential for restoring and repairing the country to ensure a healthy and vibrant future for Black people. The story of Matthew Williams. On this day in 1931, following a dispute over pay discrepancy between Matthew Williams, a native of Salisbury, Maryland, and his employer, Daniel Elliott, witnesses heard 2 shots fired. When authorities arrived, Elliott was dead, and Williams, incapacitated and unconscious, was lying in a pool of blood. Shortly thereafter, Williams was taken to the segregated wing of Peninsula General Hospital located in downtown Salisbury. After discovering that he was alive, a crowd of more than 1,000 people demanded that the hospital turn Williams over. Eventually, the mob reached Williams, who was straitjacketed in the hospital.
So he was in a straitjacket in the hospital, not tied to the gurney, not handcuffed, straitjacketed because he had a mental problem. Today, they shoot you and handcuff you. Like there's no difference. We've made no progress, like what these politicians would make you believe. There was literally no progress made. It's the same thing. Some brother gets shot, he waiting on the police to investigate. He in the hospital. He ain't even making it to the hospital now. They shoot him on the ground, handcuff him right there. They don't give a damn about him. They had this brother in a straitjacket. You know how tight a straitjacket is? And later they'll tell you they threw him out the damn window. They didn't even bring him downstairs. They threw him out the window. Keep going. I have something else to read in it. Go ahead.
Con on con. Mob members threw him out of the window to the angry crowd below. White thugs, including local law enforcement officers, then stabbed and dragged Williams 3 blocks to the courthouse lawn, where they hung his unconscious body 25 feet above the ground with an oil-soaked rope provided by the local fire chief. A piece of that rope now resides in the local police chief, the local fire chief.
He's supposed to be able to put the fires out. He brought the soaked rope, and it's not soaked with oil like engine oil. We're talking about like kerosene oil to light. If you know anything about history, in those times, who was your fireman? Who had the monopoly on it?
The Irish.
The Irish. Remember we read, they were the immigrants. Salisbury, Maryland, that whole eastern shore was white English colonists and Irish colonists. You get the point? The fire marshal, he bring the rope. Soaked with oil. Go ahead.
A piece of that rope now resides in the Smithsonian National Museum.
Say it again.
A piece of that rope now resides in the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture.
This is a token. And they wonder why we crazy. They wonder why black people are the way they are. Why this, that, the other. You understand? They wonder why. Piece of that rope is right down. You show the picture of the rope?
It's up now.
The rope is there with a postcard or a note?
It's a note.
A whole handwritten note, like a trophy. Go ahead, Shabbat.
I always wanted to go there. I never went there because I wait for it to be like free like the rest.
It ain't never gonna be free.
Cars.
It's never gonna be free. When you say you don't want free of people.
No, free like the rest of the museum.
Oh, at certain times of the year it's free. You just have to, sign up for it ahead of time. But when I say free, I don't really like to go to museums with a ton of people. I like to go on them downtime. You're gonna find me there Monday morning at 10 o'clock when nobody there. So I could watch everything I want and see what the hell I want. But a lot of the African American Museum is about Africa, right? A lot of it, a ridiculous amount of it, they're trying the whole mess to make us feel the African. Go ahead.
Okay, and that's the exact thing I was about to say. After going to the Midwest Cookout, we went
the
to
museum up there.
Concert. We went to the African Museum up there, and we let, of course, us all being priests. We listening to the lady, but everybody's just sitting there like,
this is some bullshit.
And after we ended up educating her, and she learned something.
Oh hell yeah! I recently took one of my kids to what is it? There's one down there on Constitution Avenue, right in the middle, National Museum of History, some shit like that. They had a whole. That wasn't bad as shit. I thought I would have been bored. Actually, I was more excited than her. Goddamn. Right off in there watching all kind of whales, skeletons, and all kind of shit. That shit was bad as fuck. I'd say, excuse me.
Did you see the Hope Diamond exhibit?
No, I didn't get to go all the way there. I'm going back, Salaki. I'm going to tell you, I'm going back without that. But there was a part of that where they're showing you, they said, this is African history. But the way how they have it set up, you think it's black history, and there's a ton of like Africa, South Africa, apartheid, and Rwanda and all type of shit. And then there's a section. Each of the exhibits have a room where you could go in and sit and watch a video. Some is 3 minutes long, some is 30 minutes long. Good ass videos. And you go in there and they're talking about all the liberation of Africa and Rwanda and South Africa. And do you know, brother, that they said all these African quote unquote revolutionary leaders watched all nigger speeches of black people who was revolutionaries here. All of them. All of them watched Israelites and got inspired. And I was like, time to go. Like, why are we even here with this shit? Like, they know, anyway, let's not get on the topic. It's a lot. God damn. Go ahead.
Kind on kind. Shortly thereafter, onlookers witnessed a traditional conclusion to such a ritual, which historian Donald Matthews names the Southern Rite of Human Sacrifice.
Right, they had a name for it. They say this was the traditional conclusion to such rituals. Anytime they go in and pull a man out, it's going to end one way. And that's traditional. It's tradition to lynch. It's tradition to do it. It's white tradition to do it. And they say this was the Southern Rite of Human Sacrifice. They had a right to do it. Which is why them brothers who killed Ahmaud Arbery, remember that?
Gosh.
Where they ran him down the pickup truck. It was like a shocking thing that they got arrested. They ran him down, shot him down, and then called the state's attorney and say, yeah, fix this. Because they believe in the Southern Rite for Human Sacrifice. And that's probably the only time in history we are considered human. Outside of that, we cattle. We slaves, we animals. But when it's time to kill, yeah, we human now. Go ahead.
It's like, if I could, this is a kind of a parallel.
Come on.
I was stationed with a brother who was stationed in not Moscow, but St. Petersburg, and there was an incident that happened there. A Russian regular citizen shot down some Hamite, and then called the cops and said, "Hey, I got this black man here. Just come and get him. I shot him. He's dead. I'll wait for you to come and just take him away."
It. Brother, let me get you another one. Which war it was that it was stormed in France with Normandy, storming Normandy. That's what, World War II?
Two, kind of kind.
World War II, right? There's World War II is famous for storming in Normandy, how much American soldiers gave their life, because it's really a suicide mission to take that hill, but they eventually did, right? And they was talking about how much how much glory the soldiers get for how they took over France and helped with France and stuff like that. Do you know, brother, right now they're investigating the rape of French women by American soldiers. It was a huge cover-up. They say that part of the military strategy to get men to go was to sexualize French women and say French women were, quote unquote, more freaky than any other woman to get you to, really go. And a lot of these white soldiers was raping the women. The women reported it. It got out to the media because World War II had a lot more media, not influence. Media had more access, I guess, than World War I. Do you know the American government blamed who?
The woman.
Black soldiers. They said this is a problem we're having in America. They're crazy since we let them loose. They rape our women in the South, and now they over there raping black, white French women. You can look this up. This is a whole cover-up they have. They hung about 120 soldiers lynched. You can look it up. They said they arrested 150 soldiers. Out of the 150, is about 118 of them they hung. And they blamed it on this insatiable sexual appetite and the crazy niggas who free. Meanwhile, it's the niggas who deliver the damn war. That's who we serving up. Go ahead.
It's like my mate from just watching at that time. It seemed like the allies that we had over there liked us more than the white American soldiers.
No, they didn't. They didn't like us. Let me tell you something about the white man. I'm so disappointed in myself that I was shocked that Joe Biden told Ukraine to attack Russia more. I was so shocked I couldn't believe it. I called Matter of fact, asked Matter of fact for some facts. Matter of fact, stay up on that wall like he's Wolf Blitzer. I know the name of the missile, you know the treaties, you know the dates and everything. I had to go and confirm that was they attacking before like that? He's like, nah. Brother, it's not that they liked us. The world knows that we hold America up. And they know that if they could separate us from the master, if they could institute in us dripotomia to leave the master, they'll win against America. So don't think they like us. Don't think the Japanese and the Viet Cong like us. The brothers in Vietnam would tell you how they would play morning radio saying, Negro, our war is not with you. Why are you fighting us? They don't like you. They would be on the morning programs trying to get brothers to defect. It's not that they like us, it's the enemy of the enemies, my friend. It's strategy. Because what do you think would happen if the Vietnam fully beat America? We all know they beat America in that war. But in terms of beat America and took over the world, like they would be in America's seat, where would we be? In Parliament running Vietnam? We would be slaves under the Vietnamese. If the Germans won, we'd be slaves under the Germans, whoever. It's not that they like us, but they realize we are the ones who make America great. Without these niggas and these Latinos and these native people, it's easy pickings. You get the point? It's not so much that they liked us. If that was the case, they would have came out and said, hold on, don't lynch them black people. It's not them, it's them white boys. They didn't do shit. They let them lynch us. You get the point? They let them lynch us over a lie. They lie about us raping women here, they're lying about it over there. There's no way we can go. We have to turn to the Lord. You get the point? Let me give you a little piece of this here. Exactly right. So we get the part where they went and they took him out of the hospital, right?
Colonel Khan.
Give me Ezekiel 35:5 for that. Right, a group entered the hospital demanding that Williams be turned over to them. They were stopped by Police Chief N.H. Holland and Deputy John Parks, who blocked the entrance. 6 members of the mob then went around the building to an open side entrance and reached the Negro ward. Unsurprisingly, the section wasn't well protected, right? They don't give a damn about us. There, hospital superintendent Helen V. Wise. Helen V. Wise, a white woman, surrendered. This is what she said. If you must take him, do it quietly. For all you sisters who want to join this white feminist movement, this woman said, go ahead and take this nigga. Just don't disturb the whole ward. Don't break everything up. If you must take him, do it quietly. Do you know, a ridiculous amount of white women actually voted for Trump this election?
Mm-hmm.
The same thing that's happening now is happening then. It's the same thing. She in there, she's like, you can't do this. You know how a white woman is for a white man. She could stop him in his tracks and get him to go to war. She ain't saying that you can't do this. She said, well, listen, if you must take him, just do it quietly. Just go in there and get it out. Don't disrupt nothing. Don't tear up this hospital. What is it worth a nigga's life? Give me Ezekiel.
God, sir. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had ended.
Right? When we were supposed to be free from slavery, in the time of our calamity, in the time when our iniquity was at an end, the Lord said, all right, now so we're free. You had a perpetual hatred for us. You decided to now make us clinically insane so you could do whatever to us and abuse us. You could lock us up, do whatever, put us in straight jackets. The amount of lynchings they did to black people is absolutely ridiculous. Keep reading.
Verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Right? The Lord has promised to avenge what this oppressor has done to us. He says, since you did not hate blood, blood will pursue thee. Trump said he's down there. He's trying to take America out of World War III. This is news for you. It doesn't matter who's in charge. World War III is inevitable, and all these countries are going into the Middle East. They're going to be drawn down into the Middle East. There's no way out of it at this point. It doesn't matter who you elect. Your way out is to join the Israelite school at UPK. That's your way out. With separation comes elevation. That's what has to happen. You're going to have to turn your back on this fool and join the Lord so he can raise you up. So you could get ranked up. You got to separate. You got to segregate. Segregate yourself and you'll be elevated. You know, now you nothing in the world. Come up in here, man, and be an officer. Speak the words of the Lord. You nothing in the world. Come up in here and be a priest and prophet of the Lord. You nobody in the world. Come up in here and be a princess, be a sister up in here and help raise these kids up and take care of these brothers. And these brothers will kill and die for you. Come up in here and get ranked up, man. Come up in here and get raised up. You busy trying to vote for some broad who don't give a damn about you. Ain't even show up. Ain't even show up. You don't spend so much money, your heart done broken. That ain't what Christ called us to do, man. That ain't what Christ called us to do, to follow after these people. You get the point? Let me give you a little more. If you must take him, do it quietly. The men threw Williams, covered in bandages and wearing a straitjacket, out of a window into the crowd of 300 people waiting below. As men carried Williams to the courthouse, the crowd swelled until a mob of some 1,000 people surrounded Williams. You understand how much they hate us? This is one young boy. He about 18 or 19 now. No, he worked for 8 years, so he about 25 now. You get the point? 25, 26. 1,000 people got to gather for him. You understand? You understand the whole spirit of that January 6th? You understand what really drives them? Our people in the world don't understand this oppressor. They don't understand the times we're in. They don't understand that what happened in the past is happening again. That's why you put your hope in that party instead of standing with the Lord. You get the point? Standing with the Lord. Give me some more in that article.
Let me get that mic. Sure. As rough Slakia. Shortly thereafter, onlookers witnessed a traditional conclusion to such a ritual, which historian David Matthews names the southern rite of human sacrifice, as ruffians cut Williams's toes from his body as souvenirs.
Right, I like to call that race trophies now. They take our limbs as trophies, and he's still alive at this point. So he ain't blown to death just yet. You get the point? They took toes and pieces of his body. Later on in this book here, hold on. Is it here or is it in the article? Hold on. It tells you in other parts they cut off other body parts and went around the black neighborhoods and threw them parts on the front door of black people and told them go ahead and make a nigger sandwich with these body parts to help remind us, right? Just for time's sake, I'm going to skip ahead. They said in this book here, they said that area of Maryland could have been fueled by a case that happened before with some young boy who went from the same system, deemed mentally challenged, went to work for a white man. The white man had some young boy working with him, a white young boy, working with the brother, convinced the brother to go rob this old white woman. He said two of them would go, the white boy would hide, the young brother, his name is Ewell Lee, or he had two names. One was an alias. We're gonna find the other name for you. Something Armwood. George Armwood, right? He robbed the old woman because she had her daughter had a farm. They had a ton of money. He took the money from her The old woman lay on the street in shock. The police came. She told them who it was. They went to look for this Armwood brother. By the time the mob formed up at night to find him, the story changed from just a robbery. They say how he raped her and chewed off her breast. That was the report. And he was in such a sexual deviant, and he was crazy. And of course, they lynched him, right? They attempted to lynch him. The police took him. They said he wouldn't get a fair trial. They took him and sent him to Baltimore, which was a little bit more liberal area. And they was trying him with evidence and all this type of thing. And they said that part of Maryland was angry about that because they felt justice wasn't served. And they needed to put this deviant down. So they said that was more fuel to how they lynched Williams and didn't get to the bottom of the whole thing with the robbery and all of that. You get the point? These are the people we live in under. These are the people who run our lives. They still have that whole kind of area out there. Because you always out there, you'll see the type of people that's out there. Like it's down there, like you come to there. Down there, it wasn't even America, really. Or what you would used to be. You get the point? Like you go out there and it's like, hold on, this is not really part of this place. This is a white supremacist area, and they enjoying their white power. You get the point? When would you enjoy your black power? When will you come to your black power? When will you turn and come to the Lord and forget this place? Are you enjoying the madness that's going on? Are you enjoying the disappointment that's in your heart because of this place? How long will you love the simplicity and follow after these politicians, follow after these religious leaders? And know your heart is hurting. Meanwhile, Trump is ramping up an army so that he will never ever be out of power again. He had a Chief Justice, he had the Senate, he had the House, the cabinet is right there with him. What else you want? They say he's trying to change the laws so that you could carry anywhere in America once you have, a carry license for your state. No more reciprocity. You know why he's doing that, right? Anybody knows why? You don't know. You have to get a license here, then you apply for a license there if you want to carry. Trump said he plans to make it where there's no he doing away with that reciprocity shit. You have you qualify for a carry in your home state, you can carry anywhere in America. Why is he doing that?
For ones like that little boy who went across town. For the
bigger than that. It's bigger than that. January 6th. Do you know they arrested a lot of people who came to DC with guns? I don't know if you remember that. They had some devil had a pickup truck full of rifles. Full of rifles crossing the bridge coming in from Virginia. He wants to make sure that the next time, if it's necessary, that he has a January 6th, his people could come freely and it's not be against the law. You understand? Meanwhile, you following some East Indian broad who want the right to abort babies. Now you see why you're crazy. Now you understand what's at stake. You better turn from this empire and come follow the Lord. You better turn from this empire and absolutely follow the Lord. This place is going down, it's going to hell in a handbag very quickly. The more you waste time, I don't know how you're going to survive. The level of insanity is ridiculous. There's no help for you outside of the UPK. The therapists need help. If the therapists need help, what do you think going on with the cops? What do you think going on with the paramedics? What do you think going on with the teachers in the school? Maryland, they had some teacher, she's a drug addict. You also saw the news on that? No. She's a drug addict, recovering. She relapsed and started selling drugs to the students. Y'all didn't see that shit? Y'all better be paying attention now. She in there trapping in between periods. This place is done. I don't know what else to tell you. Right? Richard could go get high with some of the Israelite group. But in here, we're going to turn our back on this empire. We're going to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. We're going to raise up brothers and sisters who is loyal to the Most High in Christ. And we're going to watch this empire burn, man. We don't have no business in this place. We don't have no rights or no rules in this place. When I say rights, meaning a right to really join this place. We shouldn't want to. We shouldn't actually desire to be part of this empire. What we should be seeking after is the ways of the Lord and the wisdom of the Lord. Because without that, you dead as a doornail in this place. All right, with that, Paz, you have some more? Good. With that, I pass the class over to the priest and officer Shapat.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We the I.S.U.P.K. We the I.S.U.P.K. Starting on the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jimmy Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. A new brother or sister comes to the school, they off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves in the world.
One more. Let me read this last part for you. Immediately after hearing about the Williams lynching in Salisbury, Governor Albert C. Ritchie set up a task force with the Attorney General William P. Lane Jr. to look into prosecuting those who were involved with the mob. This is the mob that pulled the brother out of the hospital. Tell me if this sounds familiar. After interviewing police officers and hospital workers who were present during the abduction, they found that no one could recall or recognize any of the thousands of people that were present that night. Don't that sound like January 6th? Remember they were saying we looking for them and we can't find them, and to this day, almost 100 years later, no one has been prosecuted for the lynching of Matthew Williams. No one. People was there. There's people on staff. The sheriff was there, and they couldn't identify no one. The Baltimore Sun berated the whole zone, calling them Alsatia of morons, meaning a council of morons down there in Eastern Shore in Salisbury. They blasted them in the newspaper, saying they're wrong, they're barbaric, they're just ninth grade men. They said, in reaction to the article, Salisbury merchants canceled $150,000 worth of business from the Baltimore Sun firms that advertise in the paper. To be able to be racist and kill black people, it meant $150,000 to them. They pulled all the business back from the Baltimore Sun. They had that economic power, all because they lynched their brother and people was talking about it. You still want to vote for Kamal? You distraught over this broad, not seeing what's coming around the corner. You get the point? Okay. And if you're simple and thinking, well, that's why he was voting for her, she couldn't stop that thing, dummy. She couldn't stop it. Well, what would she do? Laugh and swing her big stick and stop it? She couldn't stop that nonsense. You gotta turn your back on this empire and come to the Lord. This whole thing is just ridiculous what they're talking about. So that, yeah, go ahead.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jimmy Yahanna. Rules for new brothers and sisters. The new brother and sister come to the school. They all filmed for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to share themselves in the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. These said in Hebrew, it's pronounced ma'aishah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, Feast of the Dedication, Hanukkah, 25th day of the 9th month, by the space of 8 days. Wednesday, the 25th of December, 2024, for 8 days. You can find this in the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 through 61. Also, we got the Lord's 56th annual Passover in Atlanta, Georgia on April 12th. That whole week there, Saturday, April the 12th. Make sure that you get all your travel arrangements together, book your flights, you know what I'm saying, get your hotel, book your hotels, make sure you got that in advance. And we're gonna have a good time for all the kids, the adults. It's $200 per adult, 17 and up. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you get everything together, come on down and have a good time. That is the commandment from the Lord. If I may, sir, you got anything else?
Yep, this weekend, November 23rd, Saturday, we're going to be downtown Boston doing that clothing drive, and the camp commander, Yahanna, the whole crew going to be descending on Boston. We're going to be up there. You'll come out support. If you know any brothers and sisters in need any brothers, the Levite brothers, the I.S.U.P.K Mexican brothers, and Salvadorans that need help, and in the immigrant status, you'll send them down to the UPK, man. We're gonna make it right. We're gonna do the work. We're gonna do the work that our politicians ain't trying to do. Right. So we're gonna be up there this weekend, all right? Go ahead,
Remind Akamara Aquat to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headband, or scarf. And that with that, I say I might get, which means to stand.
So
we'll give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Might what? Which means to turn, may stand. I might do. We'll give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, might do. But what? Y'all give them a time. Class dismissed.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.